Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your soul feels completely wrong? You're keeping the Sabbath, you're eating the right way, you're at church every week, but instead of feeling that peace that passes understanding, you just feel tired. If your faith feels like a second job, you aren't alone. Today, I want to talk about the striving trap. Why being a good Christian might actually be the thing that's exhausting you, and how we can find the rest Jesus actually promised. In our community, we value the law, we value the health message, we value character, and these are beautiful things. But there is a subtle danger. We often start with salvation by grace, but we try to live maintenance by works. Think about your last bad day. Maybe you lost your temper or you skipped your morning devotions because you were late for work. Did you feel like God was disappointed in you? Like you lost points on a spiritual scoreboard? That is performance based Christianity. It is the exhausting belief that God's love for you is tied to your latest performance. We end up working a 9 to 5 for our boss and then a 5 to 9 trying to please a God we think is never quite satisfied with our effort. I had to learn a hard lesson. There is a massive difference between effort and striving. In Matthew 11, verse 28, Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Notice he doesn't say, "Come to me and I'll give you a bigger to do list." He invites us into a yoke. Now, a yoke is work, right? But Jesus says his yoke is easy. Striving is working for approval. It's the fear that if you stop, you'll fail or be rejected. Effort is working from approval. When you know you are already loved, you still work, but you work with joy. If your Sabbath feels like a restriction rather than a rescue, or if your health journey feels like a burden rather than a blessing, you might be carrying a yoke that Jesus never gave you. So, how do we stop? How do we find that resilient faith that doesn't burn out? Well, it starts with one word: abide. In John 15, Jesus says he is the vine and we are the branches. A branch doesn't strive to grow fruit, it just stays connected to the vine. The fruit happens naturally. So, here is my challenge for you this week: spend 10 minutes tomorrow morning doing nothing for God. Don't study for a lesson. Don't pray through a checklist. Just sit in His presence and say, "Lord, I am your child. Even if I do nothing today, I know you love me." True resilience doesn't come from working harder, it comes from resting deeper in the finished work of Jesus. If you've been feeling the burnout lately, just type rest in the comments. I'd love to pray for you this week. Don't let the performance of religion steal the peace of the gospel. I'm your host, and this is Resilient Faith. Stop striving, start abiding. So be ready and be faithful. I'll see you in the next one.